Hello everyone, this is Revextra, posting in the debut video of my second channel, Revextra. If you're a viewer of my main channel who decided to check this video out, thank you. If you're a non-viewer who stumbled across this video and decided to click on it, also thank you. I really appreciate your support, and I'd love if you'd also like the video and subscribe in order to grow this channel and community. If you've watched my Fortnite videos on my main channel, you would know that I'm not really the biggest fan of collabs in Fortnite. However, over the years I've gotten more tolerant of them, considering that it's now obvious that the collabs have taken over as the core identity of the game, as opposed to previous years where collabs were something that were threatening Fortnite's individual core identity. However, one of the main issues I had with collabs are the potential controversy they could cause for Fortnite if the collab ends up being with someone or something that is bad. And I'm not really talking about just the game's reputation being hurt, I don't really care about that. But it could start to be an issue if Fortnite inadvertently promotes controversial figures to children. And yeah, ultimately it's not that big of a deal for really anybody, but it is still an interesting subject to think about. So today we're going to look back at what I consider some of the most controversial, poorly aged collabs in Fortnite history. Going in chronological order, the first and possibly most infamous collab that aged poorly is the Travis Scott collab from April of 2020. Now, at the time of this collab, Travis Scott was basically at the top of the world in terms of his popularity, coming off hot from an insane few years in his career, and at that point he had already collaborated with big companies like Nike and McDonald's, so for Epic they must have saw nothing but positives in collaborating with him, and for a while they were completely right. The Travis Scott cosmetic set was very well received and sold pretty well. However, the main highlight of the collab was the Astroworld concert, which to this day is considered a gold standard of not just concert events, but Fortnite live events in general. In that way, this collab is still respected to this day, with the Travis Scott set still being highly sought after. However, part of the reason it's so desirable is due to the fact that the cosmetics haven't come back to the shop in years. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has said that Scott is welcome in Fortnite, but he doesn't really know the details of why he hasn't come back. However, many have speculated that the reason for the Astroworld set not returning is due to the Astroworld Festival crowd crush of 2021. 10 people died and many more were injured due to this tragic event, and many people criticized Scott's behavior during the crowd crush, seemingly ignoring multiple warnings and calls to stop the show. Additionally, his apology after was ridiculed for seeming insincere, but in the end, while his reputation did take a hit for being the face of the event, he wasn't actually charged with anything criminal, and the blame likely lies more with the event organizers than him. Since then, Scott has bounced back from the controversy and has gone on to make more popular music. But the Fortnite collab was with the Astroworld event itself, not just Scott, meaning that disassociating the cosmetics from this tragedy is hard, which does make the ethics of profiting off selling these cosmetics a bit muddy. But regardless of your opinions regarding this complicated situation, the truth is that the Travis Scott cosmetics have sparked a lot of discussion, debate, and concern regarding how collaborations fit in Fortnite. The main question was, when bringing in other properties and often real-world people and items, what happens when it turns out the thing that you're collaborating with ends up getting into a controversy, or was controversial to begin with? Should Fortnite start or continue advertising these controversial figures or properties to an audience of mostly young children? These are the questions that dominate the discussion in today's video. However, I'd also like to take a detour to talk about the Punk'd collab, which was part of a partnership between Fortnite and the streaming platform Quibi. It became apparent immediately that this was one of the worst collabs in Fortnite history, a title which it likely still holds to this day. Essentially, Quibi was a streaming platform that specialized in shorter television streaming. We're talking like 10-minute episodes. The platform included a rebooted version of the TV show Punk'd, a practical joke show. Of course, the idea behind Quibi was kinda dumb to begin with. There was really no market, so it went down less than a year after this event. The collab with Fortnite featured a showing of a Punk'd episode at Risky Reels. While all collabs are just advertisements, the fact that this was so low effort, as well as the fact that it was with a property that nobody cared about, made the Fortnite community especially mad at this one. Everybody was calling it a blatant cash grab, and at the time, it was the first example of a collab people universally hated, and many people at the time worried about the future of the game, and if collabs like this would come to dominate the game. Luckily, I don't think Fortnite has ever had a collab failure as bad as this since. Next up, we've got Neymar Jr. Now, there were a bunch of angles of criticism against this collab. First of all, he was the secret skin in Chapter 2 Season 6's Battle Pass. At that point, collabs as the secret skin was nothing new. The past few Battle Passes also did the same. But the difference was that all the previous secret skins were collabs with famous properties like Marvel, DC, and Predator, which were all cool characters that people generally liked and would be glad to own a skin version of. Also, they were all somewhat related to the theme of the season. But Neymar is just straight up a real person in the Battle Pass, which a lot of people didn't care about. Yes, Neymar is a super popular soccer player, but considering that most Fortnite players, especially English-speaking players who are vocal online, are from the US where soccer is less popular, I guess there was a lot more apathy and confusion about his inclusion. Also, he kind of had nothing to do with the season's wild theme. He did get a second style with a Jaguar suit, which I guess kind of fits the theme, but honestly it's a stretch and there were definitely better candidates to fit the secret skin of that season. There was also a lot of discussion regarding Neymar's past controversies, including allegations and accusations of racism, homophobia, and the assault of a woman. Looking back on it now, a lot of Neymar's controversies ended up being resolved with people realizing that he wasn't at fault, or at the very least, him apologizing. However, he only apologized for his biggest controversy regarding his homophobic comments after his collab, meaning that Epic worked with him before, and this is the reason why many Fortnite players were disappointed in Epic for adding him, especially considering that we know that this was around the same time Epic was planning Rainbow Royale, meaning that they were at least trying to put effort in being a welcoming community for LGBTQ players. As Rainbow Royale started only a month after Chapter 2 Season 6 ended, a good number of people called out the hypocrisy, highlighting that this meant that Epic really didn't care about social awareness and only about their bottom line, which is to be expected unfortunately. And that really is the crux of the controversy in the end with the Neymar collab. It amplified the existing criticisms that Epic was just turning the game into a huge billboard in order to make money, and people found it more egregious that this Battle Pass collab was with a real person. We saw it again in Chapter 4 Season 4 with the Kabi Lame collab. While Kabi, to my knowledge, did not have any controversies like Neymar, people still just didn't like seeing a real person in the Battle Pass. It brought the billboard nature of the game to the forefront. Although these skins aren't that controversial now, since nobody remembers they exist, I'm genuinely curious if these collabs actually boosted the popularity of the people featured. I'd love to see if there's any quantifiable data on that. Another unpopular and controversial type of collab are the fashion collabs, though many players don't find them as bad, especially with brands like Nike, who already do collabs with other popular brands frequently, and whose products are accessible to the average person. Additionally, the Nike branded skins tend to have some unique and fun designs. However, this enthusiasm is rarely extended to other fashion brands Fortnite has collaborated with, and the most controversial one is Balenciaga. Now, at the time of their release, the skins weren't that controversial. In fact, a lot of people liked them. I myself have 2 of those skins. However, what was controversial was the real-world clothing line that also came from this collab. We had hoodies and t-shirts with the words Fortnite Balenciaga on the front and a POI name on the back, selling for anywhere between $500 and $1,000. Now, I don't know you, but even if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be dropping $1,000 on a Fortnite hoodie. And yes, I know that Balenciaga is a high fashion brand, and these prices are typical, but if you're willing to drop that kind of money on clothes, don't get the Fortnite hoodie. I'm surprised there was even an overlap in demographics large enough to justify making these clothes. However, the collab would age poorly a year after its release when Balenciaga received massive backlash for strange ad campaigns featuring very questionable decisions to feature young children alongside sexual imagery, as well as including transcripts of court documents regarding CP in their ads for some reason. Of course, many people, including celebrities who've previously worked with Balenciaga, condemned this, and Balenciaga issued an apology and has worked since to rehabilitate their image, but this scandal remains a black mark on their reputation. While prior to this scandal, the Balenciaga set would come back to the shop quite frequently, it hasn't been seen since late September of 2022, which was right before the scandal came out, so it can be inferred that Epic refrained from bringing back the set due to the scandal. Next up, we have a collab which many people didn't even know was a collab, and that was the Super Plastic collab featuring skins like Googimon and Janky, as well as a bunch of backblings. Super Plastic is a company that makes these artistic figurines, with Googimon being one of their artists. The reason why this collab is controversial is simple. The company also promotes NFTs that they sell, which is a pretty big no-no for a lot of people, and there was some outcry over Epic indirectly promoting these NFTs to children. Additionally, looking online, it seems like Super Plastic has a sour reputation as a whole, meaning that it was a questionable choice for a collaboration. But once again, it doesn't really matter because the collab went the same way NFTs did. Nobody cares about them anymore. Now we've got an example of a collab with a person potentially aging poorly. Until very recently, Mr. Beast was the golden boy of the internet, the most subscribed to YouTuber of all time with sanitized, family-friendly content and a reputation of a philanthropist. With such a strong, tech-savvy, and kid-focused brand, Fortnite would be foolish not to collab with him. And so they did in December of 2022. However, in a still ongoing situation, Mr. Beast has been facing very serious allegations involving conditions at his company as well as his business practices, and they do have the possibility to irreversibly damage his reputation and make him face serious consequences with the law. Of course, all of this is alleged and nothing is confirmed as of yet, so it's entirely possible Jimmy shares his side of the story and it turns out that he's not as bad as he's made out to be. But that possibility is seeming more unlikely, and it's very possible he exits this current wave of allegations as a very controversial figure, meaning that his collab with Fortnite would have aged quite poorly. The Mr. Beast set comes back to the shop once every 6 months, approximately, and it was last in the shop in June 2024, before the controversy broke out. That means, as of right now, he hasn't been expected to return again yet, meaning we don't know if Epic wants him back or not. However, if the set isn't back in the shop by the end of 2024, we can pretty confidently say that Epic is avoiding bringing the set back due to the controversy. To finish off the video, we have the most recent controversial collab, and one which was so controversial that even some Epic employees would publicly disavow it. Of course, this collab is none other than Tesla's Cybertruck. The Cybertruck has been controversial since its reveal, in part due to its unconventional design. However, if the design was the only thing controversial about it, it wouldn't be in this video. No, the Cybertruck has been shown to have a lot of issues regarding its functionality, including issues that are serious safety hazards. Keep in mind, most of the issues with the Cybertruck are non-existent in basically any other common vehicle. We're talking about basic stuff the Cybertruck is failing at. Knowing this, seeing the Fortnite Cybertruck trailer hype it up as this super powerful truck is absolutely hilarious. So yeah, there was already a bunch of ridicule for this. But you can't talk about the Cybertruck without talking about Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla. Over the past several years, Elon Musk has found himself in controversy after controversy, and has revealed himself to be a pretty awful person in the eyes of many. It seems like every day he's saying, doing, or promoting a new awful thing, and he seems to associate with other hateful people. So yeah, it should be no surprise that the Fortnite player base became mad that the game agreed to promote him, especially when Fortnite also tries to uphold the image of being an inclusive game with no place for hate. Almost immediately, there was a semi-joking agreement amongst players online to target and destroy any Cybertruck they see in the game. There were also a bunch of jokes about how it would be the first pay-to-lose cosmetic because if it was accurate to the real-world truck, it would just break down and blow up randomly. The controversy extended beyond just the fans though. Even Epic employees would speak out against this. For example, Kyle Wynn, a senior dev at Epic who heads development on Fortnite Festival, openly disavowed the collab and insulted Elon Musk. Another Epic employee, under the Twitter handle Rift and Robbie, replied to the Tesla trailer with the message, "Destroy on sight," and a middle finger emoji. So yeah, this has got to take the cake for most controversial collab in Fortnite history, since it's the only time that Epic employees have openly been against a collab in their own game. Pretty wild. But we should be careful not to criticize Tesla or Musk too much. If we overdo it, Musk will get mad and buy Fortnite and rename it X Battle Royale and force people to pay a subscription in order to play more than 10 games a week because he fired all the Epic employees that were keeping the servers running smoothly. But, you know, I guess Fortnite will have freedom of speech then or something, so will it be all that bad? With that, we've gone over some of the most controversial collaborations in Fortnite history. Naturally, this video will be controversial by extension, and I encourage you to debate any difference in opinion down in the comments. Just keep it civil. Are there any other collaborations that you think are controversial? Let us know. Also, make sure to like or dislike the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want more frequent uploads like this one. Additionally, if you're going to buy something in the Fortnite item shop, hopefully not another controversial collab, please make sure to use my supporter creator code Rivecha. It's the same as my main channel name, Rivecha. Thank you for watching.